Thank you very much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong and welcome to Pointless, the quiz show where we're always striving to find the most obscure answers. Let's meet today's players. And couple number one.
Hello, I'm Keith. This is my son Dale. We're from Coventry.
Couple number two.
Hi, my name's Ryan. This is my friend Chris, and we've come from Somerset.
Couple number three.
Hi, my name's Naomi. This is my brother Will, and we're from Worcestershire.
And finally, couple number four.
Hello, my name's Sophie. This is my husband Alex, and we're from Whitley Bay.
And these are today's contestants. Thanks, everyone. We'll get to know more about you throughout the show as it goes along. So that just leaves one more person for me to introduce. He won't take no for an answer, unless the question happens to be how much nonsense will Richard Osman put up with. It's my pointless friend. It's Richard.
Oh, yeah. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon to you.
And to you.
Great show today. We've got two returning pairs. Dale and Keith got knocked out very early in the last one, but Sophie and Alex went all the way through to the head-to-head, so they're going to be the pair to beat. Round one, some people are going to absolutely adore. Round one's one of those ones where there's some real specialist knowledge required. There'll also be some easy answers in it as well, but people with proper specialist knowledge will love it.
Thanks very much, Richard. All our questions on Pointless have been put to 100 people before the show. Our contestants here need to find the obscure answers those 100 people didn't get. Now, everyone's trying to find a pointless answer, of course. That's an answer that none of our 100 people gave. And each time that happens, we will add £250 to today's jackpot. Now, Estelle and Kath didn't win the jackpot last time, so we add another £1,000 to that. So today's jackpot starts off at £2,000. Right, if everyone's ready, let's play Pointless. OK, in this round, I'm going to take an answer from each of you, but there is to be no conferring. And at the end of the round, whichever pair has the highest score will be heading home. OK, our first category today is flags. It's flags. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, and our question concerns the Tropics of Capricorn and Cancer. Tropics of Capricorn and Cancer. Richard.
Yes, so actually, we're going to show you 25 flags now up on the board. They're all flags of countries which are crossed by either the Tropic of Capricorn or Cancer, but you'll recognise them by the flags, some of them anyway. Can you give us the most obscure of these? As always, by country, I mean a sovereign state that's a member of the UN in its own right.
Thanks very much indeed. OK, so we're going to put this image up on the board, and here it is. There are all the flags we would like to have identified. Flags of nations that lie on the Tropics of Cancer and Capricorn. Now then, Dale and Keith, you all drew lots before the show, and today you are going to go first. Dale, remind us what you do.
I'm a computer technician.
But in your spare time, you are one of this country's most prolific songwriters. You have, in the space of less than 2 years, you've written over 65 songs.
Yes, yes.
That's incredible going. Being honest now, Dale, being honest, of those songs, how many are you really, really proud?
Probably about 4 or 5 at the most.
That's pretty good going still. 4 or 5 hit songs. You know, you've got your friend over in America who sings them for you.
Yes.
What kind of music?
Covered every genre apart from classical, because there are no words, obviously.
OK, now then, Dale. There are your flags. There are your flags.
I think I know a few of them. I'm not sure whether I should take a bit of a punt or go safe. I'm going to take a punt on Bahamas.
The Bahamas, yes. Says Dale. The Bahamas. Let's see if their flag is up there, and if it is, let's see how many people spotted it. It's right. Look at that, too. Brilliant start to the show, Dale. Very well done indeed. Lovely low score. 2 for the Bahamas.
Yeah, very well played from that first podium. There it is, the second from the left up the top there, the Bahamas. As I say, there's some tough ones up there, aren't there? I think, you know, there's a few easy ones so you can get out of the round unscathed, but the people who really know their stuff will be trying to go through all of these, I suspect. Anyone who gets all 25 of these would have been doing very, very well indeed. There's some real toughies.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. Now, Chris, welcome to Pointless. Great to have you here. What do you do, Chris?
I work for a famous shoe company.
So what do you do for the shoe company?
I basically supply shoes to the countries in Asia, South America, Australia, New Zealand, China, all sorts of different countries.
And do you get to travel to all these places?
I do eventually. I've only just recently joined my sort of new section there,
Right.
and I'm off to China later on in the year.
It's very exciting, very exciting. What are your hobbies when you're not doing shoes, Chris?
I'm a big football fan. I support Yeovil Town, which I go to home and away. I also play cricket for a local cricket side in the summer once I'm not watching football.
OK, so how's your knowledge of flags?
Not too bad. Again, because I love football, it's sort of a lot of these countries are sort of cropping up that I recognise the flags. I think I'm going to go with Angola.
Angola, says Chris. Angola. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said it. Oh, bad luck, Chris. I'm afraid that's an incorrect answer. Scores you the maximum of 100 points.
Yeah, sorry, Angola not up there, afraid. Also not on the either of those tropics, I'm afraid.
Thanks very much, Richard. Will, we come to you. Welcome to Pointless. Good to have you here. What do you do, Will?
I am an industrial designer, and I'm involved with lightweight hybrid railway vehicles.
There's not anything about that that doesn't excite me. That is brilliant. Lightweight hybrid, did you say?
Hybrid. Oh, very
Lightweight hybrid railway vehicles.
Oh,
You'll
this
love
is...
this. Flywheels.
Wow. But these are not passenger vehicles, are
Oh,
they?
yes, they are.
Oh, I eat my words. They are.
They can carry 60 people, but using an engine from a car.
Get out of town.
True, true.
Will, that's incredible. And it's hybrid. What are the things that make up the hybrid?
The hybrid bit is the flywheel. It's all in the flywheel.
Oh, it's all in the flywheel. But that is quite exciting. I mean, genuinely, all bluster aside, that is, with a car engine,
Yeah, yeah.
to be driven just by a single person. do you
Well,
think?
normally a car engine in a pickup truck might carry 2 people. In a train, with a bit of clever engineering, 60 people.
OK, anyway, listen, we are talking about flags now, Will. How are you on flags?
Good-ish. I'm going to say this one for my globe-trotting uncle. I think this is the kind of round where a globe-trotting uncle is quite handy. And I'm going to say Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said it. Absolutely right. Well, 2 is our lowest score so far. Saudi Arabia, almost down there. 6.
It is always good to have a globe-trotting uncle for many reasons. Yeah, there it is, the second row down there, 2 in.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. Now, Alex. Alex, welcome back. Now, how are we feeling about flags?
OK. I did geography when I was at uni, so I should be all right at this. I think there's a couple of safe ones, like I think that I can see, but the one that I'm going to go with is slightly more risky, but I believe it's OK. I'm going to say Mexico.
Mexico, says Alex. Mexico. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said it. It's absolutely right. Very well done. 13 for Mexico.
Yeah, another good answer. The Mexican symbol comes from the Aztec myth that the Aztecs were to settle as soon as they saw an eagle on a cactus eating a snake. And where they settled became Mexico City.
Thanks very much. Now we're halfway through the round. Let's take a look at those scores. 2, the best score of that part, Dale, by a long chalk. Well, quite a long chalk, a medium-sized chalk. But a cracking score. That puts you and Keith in a pretty commanding position at this stage. Then up to 6, where we find Will and Naomi. Up to 13, where we find Alex and Sophie. And then I'm afraid it's way up to 100, where we find Chris and Ryan there. That may well not be the last incorrect answer of the round, Chris. So, Ryan, as long as you get a nice low score, that might be enough to keep you in the game. Let's see. Best of luck with that. We're going to come back down the line now. Can the second players please step up to the podium? So, Sophie, we are looking for the countries to whom these flags belong. There they are. You're on 13. If you can score 86 or less with this answer, you are through to round 2. Now, Sophie, remind us what you do.
I'm a midwife.
That's right. And remind us what you get up to in your spare time.
Well, I'm currently training for the Great North Swim, which is a mile-long swim in Lake Windermere. I say training in the loosest sense of the word. I'm mostly working on the carb loading at the moment.
OK, and going to the pool from time to time?
Yeah.
I mean, is there a routine you have to go, a schedule that you have to follow to work up to your mile?
There probably should be, but it's a little bit hit and miss, I would say, currently.
Do you know, I think hit and miss is probably what they would advise. You don't want to be doing a full mile now. That would be madness.
I'll just gently work up to that, I think.
Yeah, quite right. Good stuff. Now, what about these flags?
This is just horrible for me. I'm really struggling. There is one that I do know for sure, and seeing as we only need a relatively high score, I am just going to try and play it safe, and I'm going to say Australia.
Australia. Australia, says Sophie. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. Here's your red line, nice and high. Get below that, you're in round 2. It's right, and you're through. 50. 50 for Australia takes your total up to 63. Well done, Sophie.
Well played, Sophie. Very smart tactics there. You did exactly what you needed to do. And there it is in the bottom right-hand corner.
Thanks very much. Now then, Naomi. Naomi, what do you do?
At the moment, I'm a full-time mother. I've got a 7-month-old baby.
Lovely. Getting any sleep?
Sometimes, but not every night.
No. By no means. What did you do before you were a mother?
Before that, I was working in a library as a library assistant, and before that, I was a police officer.
We've had a lot of library assistants on the show lately. Did you enjoy the librry?
Yes, I did.
Nice and quiet after being a police officer, I'd have thought.
Definitely a very good change from being a police
change.
officer. I much enjoyed working with books rather than criminals.
Do you think you'd go back to either of those?
Yes, I'd work in a library again. I do love working with books.
Very good. Well, you're on 6. If you can score 93 or less, you are through to the next round. Nice and easy.
You'd say it's nice and easy, but I'm slightly nervous that I might get it totally wrong. But I'm going to say Argentina.
Argentina. Argentina, says Naomi. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many people said Argentina. Here's your red line again, lovely and high. There we are. Through you go to the next round. Good answer. 18. 18 takes your total up to 24.
Well played again. There it is. There's the Argentinian flag. The blue and the white represent the clear skies and the snow of the Andes. And the sun there is for the first mass demonstration in favour of independence. It was on a very cloudy day on May the 25th, and then the sun poked through the clouds. And that sun represents that very sun.
Wow. So then, Ryan, now, you know what you have to do here. You're the high scorers on 100. Yeah. Ryan, what do you do?
I actually work for a very famous shoe company as well.
The same very famous shoe company for whom Chris works?
Up until recently, yes, but now a different one. Wow. So, yeah, we were colleagues for a while down in Somerset.
And what do you do, Ryan, for that?
I'm a national account manager, so essentially my job is to sell various different products, apparel and footwear to the clothing industry in the UK.
So you don't get to swan around like Chris in
actually, yeah, I do. I managed to get quite a lot around Europe and stuff like that. I'm off to Milan in a couple of weeks' time, and then Davos at the end of the year. So,
well, that's fun. That's good. And you specifically shoes, or is it you say it's clothing as well?
I do clothing and footwear. Yes,
right,
yeah, that's correct.
Okay, good. And your hobbies, Ryan?
I like a bit of singing. I play the guitar. If there's a karaoke party, you won't get me off the mic. To be fair, specialist in Mustang Sally, Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News. A couple of songs like that.
I'm glad you've told us this because we will be keying these up for later, won't we?
Oh yeah.
Good. Now, Ryan, what are you going to go for? It has to be low scoring. Has to be low scoring.
Yeah, this is going to be tough.
I mean, the only possible scenario in which you can survive is you score 2 or less, and then Keith has to score 100.
Right, I'm just going to have to go for broke. I'm going to try Uruguay.
Uruguay, says Ryan. Uruguay. No red line for you as you're the high scorer. But let's see. How many of our 100 people said Uruguay? Is it right? No, bad luck, Ryan. Bad luck. I'm afraid that's an incorrect answer. Takes your total up to 200.
Yeah, the flag not up there again, Ryan, but I think both of you on that podium, you know, you played ever so well and you both went for good answers. And I would say unfortunate members of the 200 Club. Also, Uruguay too far south to be on one of the tropics.
Thanks very much indeed. Now, Keith. Keith, what happened last time?
Sitcoms, not good at all for us.
They didn't help you at all, did they, sitcoms? No.
The obvious one. We were the easy ones, but didn't know any of the harder ones, unfortunately.
Yeah, they were big scorers, those. Flags, how do you feel about flags?
I'm happy. I'm just going to play it safe because I can.
Well, you can. I mean, or, here's what you could do, Keith. You are through to the next round, come what may, because the high scorers, Ryan and Chris, are way out of your reach on 200. You could try and find a pointless answer, and that would add 250 quid to the jackpot.
Could do.
You do what you like, Keith.
I'm going to go with chili.
You're going to go with chili. OK, chili, says Keith. Let's see if chili's right. And if it is, let's see how many people said it. No red line for you for the good reason that you are already through. It's right. Very well done. 7. Look at that. Brilliant answer, Keith. Takes your total up to 9, the lowest total of the round by a long margin.
Yeah, very well played on podium 1 there. Well done, guys. Let's see, again, with the Chilean flag, there it is on the second row up, first from the left. The white, again, is the snow of the Andes. The blue, again, is the sky. The red is the blood spilt in the struggle for independence. And the star is a sign of honour and progress. That's the Chilean flag for you. And that's why I haven't done that for every single flag, because virtually all the stories are the same.
Right.
There are a couple of pointless answers up there. Very well done if you said either Mali, there's Mali. Very well done if you said that. And the other pointless answer was Madagascar. There's the Madagascan flag. Terrific work if you said any of those. And the top 3 scorers, South Africa, which would have scored you 36, Brazil, which would have scored you 48, and Australia is actually our biggest answer of all for 50. Very well done to anyone who got many of those. They were tough, weren't they?
Yeah, they were tough.
There's some tough. There's some hard. If you know all of those flags, you must know pretty much all the flags in the world, which some people do.
Which some do. Thanks very much indeed, Richard. So at the end of our first round, I'm afraid the pair who are going to be heading home with their high score of 200, it's Ryan and Chris. I'm sorry. Yes, well, two incorrect answers there, but for the right reasons, as Richard said. You were doing exactly what Pointless wants you to do. Find a nice, obscure answer, which bodes very well for your next appearance, when I'm sure you'll do much, much better. But meantime, thanks very much for playing, Ryan and Chris. But for the remaining 3 pairs, it's now time for round 2. And only 3 pairs remain, and obviously at the end of this round, we'll be saying goodbye to yet another pair. Very best of luck to all 3 pairs. Our category for round 2 is literature. Literature. Can you all decide on your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. And the question concerns literary characters. Literary characters, Richard.
Yeah, we're going to give you the first names of a series of principal characters from different books. We need you to give us the surnames, please. It's going to be 6 on each pass, 12 in all to have a go at home.
Thanks very much indeed. So we're looking for the surnames of these literary characters. And here's our first board of 6. Tom from The Grapes of Wrath, Mitch from The Firm, Vito from The Godfather, Becky from Vanity Fair, Atticus from To Kill a Mockingbird, and Ebenezer from A Christmas Carol. I'll read those all one last time. Tom from The Grapes of Wrath, Mitch from The Firm, Vito from The Godfather, Becky from Vanity Fair, Atticus from To Kill a Mockingbird, and Ebenezer from A Christmas Carol. There we are. 6 literary characters that need a surname. Dale, what is the most obscure of those you can give us?
I only know 2 of those, but I think, well, I hope the most obscure of those 2 would be Vito Corleone from The Godfather.
Corleone, says Dale, for The Godfather. Let's see if Corleone's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Corleone. He's right. $20 for Corleone.
Yeah, sold over 21 million copies, that book.
Now then, Will, what do you make of this board?
I'm better off with flags, pretty colours, shapes, patterns, that sort of thing. But I'm going to have a go at Atticus Finch.
Atticus Finch, says Will, from To Kill a Mockingbird. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said Atticus Finch. It's right. $11 for Atticus Finch. Very well done indeed.
Yeah, the only novel published by Harper Lee, and Atticus Finch, the hero of it, the hero lawyer, played by Gregory Peck in the film version.
Thanks very much indeed. Now then, Sophie. Sophie, you're the last person to have this board, so if you fancied it, you could talk us through all the gaps.
I don't think I'll be able to talk us through, really. There's only one that I know for sure, because the other two that I knew have gone, but I think that'll be a very high scorer, so I'm maybe going to have a bit of a risk and go with Becky from Vanity Fair as Granger.
Becky Granger, says Sophie. Becky Granger, let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said that. Ooh, bad luck. Bad luck, I'm afraid. Betty Granger, an incorrect answer, scores you the maximum of 100 points.
I'm sorry, Sophie, the principal character in Vanity Fair is Becky...
Sharp.
Becky Sharp, yeah. Would have scored you 5 points as well, would have been a very good answer. Played by Reese Witherspoon in the most recent adaptation of that, the film adaptation. Now, the one at the bottom is the one that everyone has avoided. It's better than getting 100 points, but would have been a big score. It's Ebenezer Scrooge, of course, but would have scored you 83 points. The top one from Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath is Tom Joad, who scored you 1 point. And John Grisham's The Firm, the hero of that is a pointless answer. Very well done if you said Mitch McDear. Mitch McDear, no points at all, played by Tom Cruise in the film.
Thanks very much indeed. Well, we're halfway through the round. Let's take a look at those scores. 11, the best score of that past Will. Very well done. Then up to 20, where we find Dale and Keith. Then, I'm sorry to say, up to 100, where we find Sophie and Alex. So, well, it may not be the last high score of the round. So, Alex, at the very least, we need a low score from you, and I have to hope that's enough to keep you in the game. We're going to come back down the line now. Can the second players please take their places at the podium? OK, let's put 6 more literary characters on the board, and here they are. We have got Milo, Catch-22, Beth from Little Women, Albus from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Charles from Brideshead Revisited, Mark from Bridget Jones's Diary, and Ford from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'll read those all one last time. Milo from Catch-22, Beth from Little Women, Albus from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Charles from Brideshead Revisited, Mark from Bridget Jones's Diary, and Ford from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There we are. 6 literary characters looking for surnames. Now then, Alex, you're the high scorers. We need a low score from you. How are you feeling about that board generally?
Terrified. That's a tricky board. I think Sophie did the right thing having a bit of a punt in that last round. I think there's one that I might know, but I wouldn't even be sure of that. And given that I've kind of got to try and pull something out of the fire here, I'm just gonna take a bit of a punt as well. And it really is a punt. I'm gonna say for Brideshead Revisited, I'm gonna go with Hardy, Charles Hardy.
Charles...
It's got an air about it.
Hardy. It has an air about it, certainly. Charles Hardy, you're the high scorer, so there's no red line for you. We just have to hope it goes a long way down the column. We also have to hope it's right. Charles Hardy. Is it right? No, bad luck. I'm afraid an incorrect answer there, Alex, which means you score the maximum of 100 points, taking your total up to 200.
Sounds convincing, though. Does sound convincing.
I'd convince myself.
Charlie Hardy. Charlie Hardy and Becky Granger are delighted to announce they're getting married. Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
That would be nice. Oh, well, there we are. There, now, Naomi, good news. You're through to the head-to-head. However, we will need an answer from you for this round. How do you feel about this as a category, generally?
It's good. I should know books, having worked recently in a library, but I don't know all of them, so I'll just have to think which one I think that I know is the lowest. And I'm going to say Mark Darcy for Bridget Jones's Diary. Mark
Darcy, says Naomi. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many people said it. No red line, because you're already through. It's right. $18 takes your total up to 29.
Yes, well played, based on Pride and Prejudice, of course, so Fitzwilliam Darcy becomes Mark Darcy.
Thanks, Richard. Now, Keith, again, you are through to the head-to-head. Even if you score 100, you won't overtake the high score of 200. But that board is all yours, Keith. If you felt like filling in the blanks for us, that'd be great.
I'd love to fill in the blanks, but I can't. I don't know any of them whatsoever. So I'm just going to just come up with a mad name. I'm going to say Charles McIntosh.
Charles McIntosh for Brideshead Revisited. Let's see if Charles McIntosh is right. It wasn't Charles Hardy. Let's see if Charles McIntosh fits the bill. No. Bad luck. An incorrect answer scores you the maximum of 100 points, takes your total up to 120. Couldn't matter less. You are through already.
I wonder if anyone can work out statistically how long we'd have to stay here just naming random English surnames before we got into the right one. It's actually Charles, do you know this one?
Ryder.
Charles Ryder, yeah, and it would have scored 2 points, so it would have been a very good answer, so worth going for both teams there. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Prefect.
Ford Prefect, yes. Would have scored 22. Albus.
Dumbledore.
Dumbledore. Yep, that would have scored 28. Surprisingly low score. Do you know Beth? That's harder. It's Beth March.
Beth March.
Beth March. And that would have scored you 7 points. And the top one is Milo Minderbinder. Milo Minderbinder. It's a pointless answer if you said it, so very well done.
Thanks very much indeed. So, at the end of our second round, I'm afraid, Alex and Sophie, this is where we have to say goodbye to you, but you've played so well, head-to-head last time round. And this time, very creditable show in the first round. I'm afraid it was this second round, though, where you met your 200 club membership. But it's been great having you on both shows. Thank you so much for playing, Alex and Sophie.
Thank you.
But for the remaining two pairs, it's now time for our head-to-head. Well, congratulations, Naomi and Will, Dale and Keith. You are now one step closer to the final and a chance to play for our jackpot, which currently stands at £2,000. Now, to decide which pair is going to play for that money, you're now going to go head-to-head. But the big difference is you are now allowed to confer. And the first pair to win 2 questions will be playing for the jackpot. Best of luck to both pairs. Let's play the head-to-head. OK, here comes your first question, and it concerns the Beatles. The Beatles, Richard.
Just going to give you 5 clues now to facts about the Beatles. Can you give us the most obscure answer?
OK, let's reveal our 5 clues, and here they are. We have got first single released in October 1962. Name of the producer who signed the band to EMI. Hey Jude was written for this son of John Lennon. The title of the song that was originally called Scrambled Eggs, and the name of the musician who bought the Beatles catalogue in 1985. I'll read those all one final time. The first single released in October 1962, the name of the producer who signed the band to EMI. Hey Jude was written for this son of John Lennon. The title of the song that was originally called Scrambled Eggs, and the name of the musician who bought the Beatles catalogue in 1985. Now then, Naomi and Will, you've played best throughout the show so far, so you get to go first.
I reckon a risky one with the first. Please me. Yeah, well, I don't know. OK. We're gonna risk, and we're going to say for the first single in '62. It's a bit of a guess, but please me.
Please me, say Will and Naomi for the first single. Please me. Now, Dale and Keith, the rest of the board is yours.
I think the musician who bought the Beatles catalogue would be Michael Jackson. The title of the song that was originally called Scrambled Eggs, I think, was Yesterday. Hey Jude was Julian. Which one are we going for? Scrambled Eggs Yesterday. We're going to go for the title of the song that was originally called Scrambled Eggs, Yesterday.
Yesterday, say Dale and Keith. Yesterday. Now, Naomi and Will have said Please Me, the first single released in October 1962. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. Bad luck, I'm afraid, an incorrect answer, which means, Dale and Keith, you merely have to be correct with Yesterday, and if you are, you will win the point. Let's see if it's right. Let's also see how many people said it. Absolutely right. Look at that, very good score. You need 5. 5 for Yesterday, which means, after one question, Dale and Keith, you are up 1-0.
Well played, Dale, there, yeah. Radio 2 voted it the greatest song of the 20th century, and Rolling Stone and MTV voted it the greatest pop song of all time yesterday.
You know that Scrambled Eggs thing? I just don't know if I believe that. That, to me, it sounds like a bit of McCartney modesty. It's him going, yeah, scrambled eggs, just said scrambled eggs.
They say it's scrambled eggs, oh my baby, how I love your legs, were the original lyrics to it.
Right. OK.
And who are we?
Who are we? You know.
Exactly right. Now, the first single, it wasn't Please Please Me, that was their second single, I'm afraid. It was also the name of the first album. It was Love Me Do.
Oh, yeah.
17 points for that. The producer who signed the band to EMI is their famous lifetime producer, yeah, George Martin, would have scored 9. Dale was right about Hey Jude, it's written about Julian Lennon. Would have scored 51. You're right about Michael Jackson as well, Dale, well done. And that would have scored you 40 points. Well done if you got all 5 of those.
Thanks very much indeed. So here comes your second question, Will and Naomi. You have to win this one to stay in the game. It concerns famous people born in the UK. Famous people born in the UK, Richard.
I'm going to show you 5 anagrams now of famous people born throughout history in the UK. Can you unscramble them and give us the best answer?
OK, let's reveal our 5 anagrams, and here they are. We've got Bushy Crofter, presenter, Batia Export, illustrator and writer, now a saint, physicist, scrawly a hand, naturalist, and I am a weakish speller, playwright. I'll read those all one last time. Bushy Crofter, presenter, Batia Export, illustrator and writer, now a saint, physicist, scrawly a hand, naturalist, and I am a weakish speller, playwright. There we are. Now, Dale and Keith, you will go first this time.
I'm going to go Batia Exports, Beatrix Potter.
Batia Export, Beatrix Potter. Now then, Naomi and Will. The board is all yours. Talk us through it.
It won't be a very long chat, I'm afraid. We're a bit...
I think the bottom one is
a bit scrambled.
Fairly high. I think that's William Shakespeare, but we're going to discount that one.
Yeah, yeah.
The one above, naturalist, I think we might go with that one, so...
I think we're going to go with Charles Darwin. It's safe and probably going to be too high, but we'll give it a shot.
OK, Charles Darwin. So we have Beatrix Potter versus Charles Darwin. Dale and Keith said Beatrix Potter. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. Is right. Wow, look at that. 4. Very well done indeed. 4 for Beatrix Potter. Naomi and Will have gone for Charles Darwin. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said that. You want to be winning this one to stay in the game, remember. It's right. It's got to get down to 4. Is it going to make it down there? It's going to be 13. 13 for Charles Darwin, which means, Dale and Keith, after only 2 questions, you are straight through to the final 2-0. Very well done indeed.
Yeah, well played, Dale and Keith. That's a scrambled eggs and a scrambled children's author, seeing you through to the final round. The scores actually go all the way up the board, so we'll start at the bottom, shall we? You're absolutely right. I am a weakish speller was William Shakespeare. Would have scored 30. Have you got either of these two? Now a saint?
Isaac Newton.
It is Isaac Newton, yeah. Isaac Newton would have scored 7, and the only answer that could have beaten Beatrix Potter is up the top there, presenter, anagram of Bushy Crofter. You all know him.
Yeah.
It's Bruce Forsyth. Bruce Forsyth would have scored you 2 points, so very well done if you got that at home. They're hard, aren't they? When you get them, you just, you feel so pleased with yourself.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. So, at the end of our head-to-head round, the pair we're saying goodbye to, I'm afraid it's Naomi and Will. Not bad, actually. Please me, you're only out by 1 single there. That was their second.
It felt good to be near.
Yeah, and Charles Darwin, a cracking answer too. But you were up against Dale and Keith, who scored. They were almost the lowest scorers possible in each question. 4 and 5 there. So yes, you just came up against this machine. But the good news for us is we get to see you again next time, Naomi and Will. We'll look forward to that very much indeed. But meantime, thanks very much for playing, Naomi and Will. But for Dale and Keith, it's now time for our pointless final. Congratulations, Dale and Keith. You've seen off all the competition and you've won our coveted pointless trophy, so very well done. You now have a chance to win our pointless jackpot, and at the end of today's show, the jackpot's down to £2,000. Well, I have to say, I'm not surprised to see you here. I think your course was set from that first round. Wonderful, wonderful low scores with the flags there. You've done so well today, really, really well. What would you like to see to crown the day off? What would be the best possible category for you in this round?
Pop music, geography.
Football.
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 Yeah.
For both of us, probably music or geography.
Geography would be the better option for us.
OK, well, best of luck. Now, as always, you kick this round off by choosing a category, and here are your 4 options. They are the Super Bowl, fashion, easy listening music, France.
Super Bowl is American football.
American football, isn't it?
If it's winners,
Issue.
could probably do something there.
Issue. The other thing is listen to music.
Fashion,
No.
doesn't look like we have
France.
a clue.
No. Driven through it. Don't want to go back.
Easy.
Listen to music, which is going to be...
Easy listening.
Yeah. Do you want to go Super Bowl?
Yeah.
OK.
Yeah, we'll go with the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. OK, the Super Bowl it is. Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for any answer in any of these 3 categories. If you know about the Super Bowl, it's going to be a good round for you. We're looking for any team that has ever taken part in a Super Bowl final. We're looking for any player who's ever won the MVP in the Super Bowl. And we are looking for any towns or cities that have hosted a Super Bowl final. So any teams that have ever played in the final, any MVPs, or any towns and cities that have ever hosted a Super Bowl. Best of luck at home, and very, very best of luck in the studio. Good luck, guys.
OK, now, as always, you've got up to 1 minute to come up with 3 answers. And to win that jackpot of £2,000, just one of those answers needs to be pointless. Now, remember, the answers you give can be from any of these 3 categories. It's up to you which categories they're from. It could be 3 from one category, 2 from one, 1 from another. It's entirely up to you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's put 60 seconds on the clock. There they are. Your time starts now.
Okay.
Towns and cities, you pretty much picking any city in America.
You could go for Walker.
You could go for a more
Yeah,
teams in the Super Bowl. I know teams that have been in the Super Bowl. You can go through the likes of the Green Bay Packers, Washington Redskins, Dolphins, probably too obvious.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys, New England Patriots, Pittsburgh Steelers.
What about most different players?
I
Don't know enough.
no. I mean probably Joe Montana.
Which ones do you go to?
Some teams in the Super Bowl final.
Yeah.
So it's Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's Dallas Cowboys.
Cool. That's going to be. And then you got 16 seconds. You're picking a usual one.
So I'm trying
10 seconds left.
That's
The Chicago Bears.
Okay.
I'm sure they're called the Bears. Go those 3.
OK, that's your time up. I now need your 3 answers. What are you going to say?
We've got Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Pittsburgh Steelers. And these are... Will you say which category they are?
Let's go for the teams in the Super Bowl final.
Teams in the Super Bowl final. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
And I think they are called the Chicago Bears.
And the Chicago Bears. Of those 3, which is your best shot at a pointless answer?
If it's correct, Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears we'll put last. Least likely?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers we'll put first. OK, we just put those up on the board in that order. And here they are. We have got the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Chicago Bears. Well, very, very, very best of luck. Your first answer was the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, if this is correct and it is pointless, it will win you £2,000. What would you do with that, Dale?
I'd probably disappear somewhere and lay on a beach and decide what to do with the rest of it while I was there.
Good answer. Keith?
Well, I'd like to go and see my cousin in Canada, which I've never met, could go towards that, which would be really cool.
Very good. Well, very, very best of luck to you. 3 good answers on the board there. Let's hope at least one of those is pointless. As I say, if this is pointless, your first answer, the Pittsburgh Steelers, it wins you the jackpot. So for £2,000, have the Pittsburgh Steelers ever been in a Super Bowl final? It's right. Now, down it goes through the 50s, through the 40s. If this goes all the way down to 0, you leave here with £2,000. It's going down into single figures, still going down. Down it goes. Oh, look at that, 1. 1. That's a fantastic answer. Very, very well done indeed. Lovely low score there. Sadly, not pointless. So only 2 more shots at today's jackpot. Your second answer was the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, it has to be pointless for you to win that jackpot. So for £2,000, let's find out, have the Dallas Cowboys ever been Super Bowl finalists? Again, it's correct. Your first answer, the Pittsburgh Steelers, took you all the way down to 1. Your second answer, the Dallas Cowboys, now taking you down through the teens into single figure of 7. OK, now everything is riding on your third and final answer, the Chicago Bears. This was the one you thought was your best shot at a pointless answer. Let's find out. If it's right and it's pointless, it wins you that jackpot. So for £2,000, have the Chicago Bears ever played in a Super Bowl final? Again, it's right. Your first answer, the Pittsburgh Steelers, took us all the way down to 1. The Dallas Cowboys took us down to 7. Here come the Chicago Bears, taking us down to, oh no, 9. Oh, bad luck. Well, I tell you what, 3 brilliant answers there. 3 fantastic low scores. You'd be very pleased with that at any normal stage of the game. Sadly, though, in this round, it's only pointless answers we're interested in, and unfortunately, you didn't manage to find that vital pointless answer, which I'm afraid means you don't win today's jackpot of £2,000. That rolls over onto the next show, but we have really enjoyed having you in the studio. It's been brilliant having you. It's such a good performance throughout the show today, and you do, of course, get to take home a pointless trophy each, so very, very well done.
Oh, I thought you were going to win it there, guys. I think if you know about the Super Bowl, I'm going to read out some names in a minute, and you'll recognise most of them, I'm afraid. Let's take a look at the pointless answers for teams who've played in a Super Bowl final. The Atlanta Falcons would have been a pointless answer. The Denver Broncos won it a couple of times. The Kansas City Chiefs, the Oakland Raiders. You could also have had the Baltimore Colts. You could have had the Buffalo Bills, the Carolina Panthers. You could have had the Cincinnati Bengals or the Indianapolis Colts. Could have had the LA Rams, the Minnesota Vikings. Could have had the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Diego Chargers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Tennessee Titans. All of those pointless. Well done if you said any of those. Let's take a look at some of those most valuable players. Aaron Rodgers, who played for the Packers. The very first MVP, Bart Starr, also for the Packers. Joe Namath, who played for the New York Jets, and Troy Aikman of the Dallas Cowboys, funnily enough. He was MVP. You could also have had Emmitt Smith, Terry Bradshaw. He was pointless. Well done if you said any of those. And let's take a look at some of the towns and cities that have hosted a Super Bowl. Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Minneapolis, Tampa. You could have also had Arlington, Glendale, and Pontiac as well. All of those pointless answers. I'm sure some of those ones, especially the teams, would have rung a bell with you.
Well, unfortunately, we do have to say goodbye to you, Dale and Keith, but we have really enjoyed having you on the show. Thank you both so much for playing and playing so well. Brilliant contestants.
Thank you.
Well, Dale and Keith didn't win our jackpot today, so it rolls over, which means on the next show we will be playing for £3,000. Join us next time to see if someone can win it. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.